Hello everyone, Lid here. In this video, I'm testing Divination card farmings, and specifically, I'm trying to target farms nimis card, which is Fate of the Unknown Origins. And I've been stalling for quite a while because I think I'm supposed to do this strat like last week. I already buy all the things that I need, and then yeah, but I've finally done the 100 maps. It takes me 15 hours of the mapping times. It's a pretty long sessions and it takes around 7 to 9 minutes per maps. It's really depending on how much abyss that spawn on the maps. And yeah, we are playing with abyss, which means you will need custom mastery. And for the strat itself, this is not my strat. This is a Redviles strat. I learned this from him, so I will put a link in the description to his channel. And it's also his Twitch if you guys want to check him out. And let's begin with the setup. So number one, you need to scry the card into either Jungle Valley or Mausoleum. In my case, I scry to Mausoleum because I already scry Apothecary to Jungle Valley. So the way you're going to scry it, you need to find Nameless here on Residence because we are farming Nimis card. And then you basically scry the Residence card to Mausoleums. And for the map itself, all my maps have 80% minimum quantity and that without a chisel. So it's a pretty hard rolls. And the way I do it is I'm going to put a regex for 70% quantity. I will roll it like usual, like Scour and Alchemy. And when something pop-ups, I will try to look for the one that have 5 mods. And that means I can exalt it up one more mod and that will make it 80% quantity. You can do it like a normal way where you basically just Scour Alchemy. That still works. I'm actually trying that one out. It's a lot cheaper, but it takes a lot more time. And for the last step, you will put 1 daily orbs. Any daily orbs is fine. I'm using Jewelry, but you can use any kind of delirium orbs. Doesn't really matter. We just want the 20% deliriums on the maps. That will help with a little bit more quantity from the daily, and it will add more density into the maps. And for the scarabs, we're going to use 2 abyss scarabs, and we're going to use 1 abyss scarabs of edifice, and we're going to use Divination scarab of pilfering. And this one basically make all your difficulty drops is go into the boss, and it will empower the boss. And when you kill the boss, it will duplicate the div card. So basically, it's like a duplication with extra step. And the last scarab is influence of the horde, and this is to increase the access of the altar monster because altars play a big role on this strat. Now let's move to the Atlas tree. This is the Atlas tree that I'm using. It's very straightforward. Take all the effect modifier nodes, we take all the quant nodes, we take all the abyss node that we need, and we also taking beyond node over here. And for the beyond node, you will need this node, which basically give 100% increased chance for your beyond to be follower of Getash, because this follower of Getash drop 30% more divination cards. So the beyond actually contributing on dropping the divination card. And I have 3 leftover point over here. I put it on shrine. This is just basically extra density. And the shrine is also guarded by magic pack, which is pretty good. And what I found is shrine kind of help with spawning altars. So it may be luck, it may be, I may be misjudging, but I think it does help with the altar spawning. This 3 point over here, you can put anywhere you want. So this is the altar tree that I'm using. So now let's move to the spreadsheet so we can discuss the number a little bit more. So this is the spreadsheet, and one thing I want to very clear about before I go over all the data, because I know the number looks really good, but I want you guys to really understand what this strat is about. This is a divination card farming. And the nature of divination card farming is always volatile. If you win, you will win big. And by big, I mean like hundreds of divine big. But if you lose, it will be also equally painful. So if you never try divination card farming, I really not recommend if you tight on currency. If you have some currency left over, you don't mind losing it, go for it, try it out. But if you have a very tight currency, you don't have that many, I really do not recommend, because this is how divination card farming always worked for me. And for me myself, I'm already doing this kind of farm a lot, even when Magic Fan is still a thing. Farming Apothecary on Crimson Temple is something that I always do from mid to end of the league. So I want you to really keep that in mind. I do not want you guys to just blindly follow this and get screwed because of it. Okay, with that said, let's move into the number. So this is the total cost for the maps. It's around 0.4 per cost per maps. I think in actuality, because all of this is using PoE needs a number, so it looks a bit lower. So the profit lower, the cost also looks lower. But from my experience so far, the net profit is very similar. And in actuality, I think it cost me around 0.5 divine per maps. And from these 100 maps, I got 10 fire of unknown origins. And this number over here is above average. If my math is correct, you're supposed to get something like 6 to 8 origins per 100 maps, something like that. I think it's 1 in 26 or 27 maps, something like that. And just to hammer the point home, you can see over here our profit is 329, basically 330 divine. If I put this into the normal average drops, basically 8 cards, the profit dropped from 330 div to 270 div. And this is what I mean by this is very volatile. Your number can go up and down very wildly, depending on how lucky, like how much nimis card you get. In this case, I get a little bit above average, it's 10 cards. And then that's why the profit looks so good. And for the Dapper Prodigy, this is usually what I'm using to measure like how good the strat is, because Dapper Prodigy is very common. So the data tend to be very, very consistent. This is the metrics that I'm always using. So in this case, I get 7.4 Dapper Prodigy per map. And I think that's around average. I think average is supposed to get like 7 or 8, something like that. So in terms of Dapper Prodigy, I think I still around the average. So this strat I think is still pretty good. And because we are farming Abyss, we're still going to get something like this. We got quite a lot of T0 currency. I get 12 Divine, 21 Exalted Orb. And this is a bit unlucky for the Divine Orbs because both of this currency is having the same rarity. So normally we should have the equal value, but we get more Exalted Orb than Divine Orbs. And I'm also get 10 Faldo puzzle box. And this is why Abyss is so good, because all the Abyss farm that I show in the channels, you're always going to see these items like Divine, Exalted Orbs, Faldo boxes. This kind of item is something that you're always going to get from Abyss. And we also get 32 T17, which is a nice profit. And then we also get few scarabs, and the scarab is pretty interesting because we do get quite a lot of them, even though we do not have any node on scarab at all. And this especially means maybe speccing into some scarab nodes probably worth it. The idea is just especially use the scarabs to kind of mitigate the cost until you find the jackpot. But it will require more testing, but I think it do have potential. So as you can see, this is all the breakdown. This is also screenshot, and this is the breakdown from the World of the Exile. You can check all of them yourself. And then for the map times here, I put 9 minutes. Like I mentioned earlier, my time I think is around 7 to 9 minutes. It's really depending on how much Abyss I get per maps and like how repeat the map can be, because the map generally is not hard, but if you pick a lot of altars, it will become hard. And I think that's important to mention. So my total map time is 15 hours. If you want to look for div per hours, this is something around 22 div per hour. If you divide that 330 with 15, you got something like 22. Also pay attention to the cost. Don't just look for the net profit, but pay attention to the cost, because if the cost per map up like 0.6, 0.7, and if start to reach 0.8, it starts to become really, really scary to actually do this farm. So pay attention to how much the map costs. So I think that's all I have for you today. And I think I explained everything I need to. And if you have any question, as usual, leave it in the comment below. I will try my best to answer it. With that said, thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you in the next one.